Hey, my name is Will Buchanan and I'm walking all the way across the country to New Hampshire in search of more freedom on a project called the Walk for Liberty. Today is September 29th, 2008, day 149. Christina and Craig Goodale are documenting me again as part of the film they're making on movers to New Hampshire as part of the Free State Project. This makes me think of Arrested Development. A while back, one of my YouTube subscribers, Norris CJ, asked a question on my YouTube channel page. The question he posed was, under your ideal free state being in quotes, what would the government do about racial, religious, or political genocide in a neighboring country? First of all, thank you for the question. I really do appreciate questions, and I intend to start answering more that people have asked me along the way. Secondly, before I really get into the meat of what he asked, my ideal free state actually wouldn't be a state at all. My ideal society would be one in which, first of all property were privately owned. In other words, there would be no such thing as so-called public or government property. Secondly, people would be free to interact voluntarily with each other in whatever ways they wanted. There would be no government there to force them to pay for services they neither requested nor even necessarily wanted. For example, if you so chose, you could hire a protection service to help protect you. Or, if you wanted, you could just use your dog and the shotgun in your closet to protect yourself and your family. You wouldn't be forced to pay for the so-called protection services that government police offer. So, to answer Norris's question from the point of view of my ideal free society, there wouldn't even be a government to respond to the genocide that was occurring in the neighboring country. So of course, that leaves each person to decide how they want to respond on an individual basis. They might donate money in some form or another, or join in the fighting themselves, or just decide they don't want to get involved. And as you can probably guess, my answer for a state with a government is very similar. I'll take the example of a close to free state, one that has a very minimal government, and which is supposedly charged only with protecting life, liberty, and property. You might say that a free and just government has an obligation to respond to such an atrocity. But the thing is, there's no such thing as a free and just government. Any government, by definition, restricts the freedoms of the people which it rules over in some way or another. And what justice is there in stealing people's money from them, which governments of course do, through taxes? So I find it a bit ironic that some people have no problem with the government stealing some people's money and restricting their freedoms, that yet wanted to supposedly do the right thing and help another different group of people. It's kind of like asking the mob to do the right thing. On a more practical level though, if the government does respond in some way to the genocide, it might make some people happy, but it will most certainly make enemies of the people it's fighting against. And that puts everyone in the country, which the government is ruling over, at risk. Ever wonder why 9/11 happened? Perhaps because the US government did a little too much meddling in other people's affairs in the Middle East? The answer is that each person should be free to respond to the genocide in the way that they think is best. You don't want somebody else responding on your behalf, do you? I walked 23.6 miles today, and here's my current position. This is Will Buchanan for Amazon.walkforliberty.com, signing off. There's a salamander, some kind of lizard. Looks like its tail has been chewed up though. Maybe it was caught in a lawnmower.